Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rundown on a Wednesday. This is mainly because if anyone was there for the Monday show, just how shambolic it was, mainly due to my Wi-Fi. As we could see by the graphic posted by Sport Tank, that I did in fact lose a walkover to Wi-Fi, which is true. But you can see I'm in a lovely new place because I'm at the University of Gloucestershire because they've got good Wi-Fi. So I've co-opted their Wi-Fi. Some of my tuition fees are now being spent on good Wi-Fi, which means better production quality. Look at this camera. This camera couldn't be used at my gaff. Wi-Fi was too bad. This microphone could not be used at my gaff. This sort of made good because I felt like the Gloucester Gladiators that came on wasn't a great interview, as you can tell by the fact that it's no longer on Facebook, it's no longer on YouTube. Basically, I want something that can be put on Spotify. No, I've not paid my internet bills, but what I have done is I have paid my student bills, which is why I can go to the University of Gloucestershire and not steal because I paid for it. It's my Wi-Fi. So Connor and Dylan aren't here because it's a Wednesday, and the show doesn't normally go on a Wednesday. But it's going to sort of follow the same format. I'm going to review the games that have taken place. There's only 4. We'll get some of the Gladiators on, have a discussion, and then we'll go into the reviews of this week. So simple, taken across the bottom of the screen. Staffordshire losing a walkover 20U because the game was called in the third quarter due to injuries on Staffordshire's side. What this does mean for Staffordshire is they are definitely going down now. The Hull Sharks, Jamie, you're in the chat there. What happened? Jamie, you're on next week. Do you want to talk about it now? Do you want to talk about it later? Lost 21-0 against the Glasgow Uni Tigers in Division 2. My Lincoln Colonials, they lost to the Leicester Longhorns 21-15. And in a shocking twist, there has been a walkover in the Borders. Aberdeen 1, Teesside 0. Basically, sort of the big thing to take away from this is Staffordshire are definitely being relegated. That's sort of the main thing. Also, Jamie, you're going to get Dylan in person when you take on Edinburgh this weekend. And listen, if you haven't seen yet, go over to our Instagram. We've got some shiny new graphics. We've got one for Portsmouth versus Hertfordshire. We've got one for Hull versus Edinburgh. Going over some of the fun facts of those games. We're going to have some more going on. We've got Bath Killer Bees coming, Solent versus Reading, and Leeds Beckett Carnegie versus the Gold. We're not sure who's going to be game of the week yet. Also, on UClan and Liverpool. Going to rob his hat. Take his hat. His hair's not good. Look at my hair. Worse than mine. Yeah, not much to talk about. Leicester are proving they're the dominant force in Midlands too. They take on the Green in week 10. And I personally have, Jamie, if you have, no, Jamie, it's not, I'm not just talking to you. There are other people watching, right? It's not just you. Don't be so selfish. Nottingham Green are taking on Leicester this week. I have picked Leicester for that one. I think they're going to sort of shake up the division a bit by beating the Green. Obviously, with the Green and Derby drawing, that sort of throws a wrench in the works of who is actually the dominant force in that division. Very well could be Leicester. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, there's not much to talk about. Week 9's in the books. And we've got some big games coming this weekend. Div 2 especially, UClan versus Liverpool. I got it wrong. UClan have asked Edge Hill to no longer play them this weekend. Instead, UClan will face Liverpool. That game could very well turn the tide on who's going to win the Northern 2. And then you've got some small ones. Obviously, we got the rematch of Essex versus Brunel. Obviously, the first one, Essex surprise victory, 30-29. And obviously, the big Prem match this week, Leeds. Is it Leeds? Yeah, Leeds Beckett Carnegie versus Nottingham Gold. The last 3 times these teams have met, the home team has won. This game is in Nottingham. I don't see that going to change. Obviously, things like the Manchester Derby as well. The Eagles versus the Tyrants. Eagles need a win. Exeter Bournemouth 2. But obviously the one where I'm on campus for, the beautiful University of Gloucestershire. It's tight at the top of the Southwest 2 with the Bath Killer Bees 2-0, defeating Plymouth and Worcester, and the Gloucestershire Gladiators beating Aberystwyth, Taranai Aberystwyth, and the Bath Spa Bulldogs. They will face off this Saturday, not Sunday, Saturday. So just to talk about it and to talk about what has changed with the Gloucestershire Gladiators, we're going to bring in some of the Gladiators now, and we're going to bring up just a few fun facts about this game. So look at this. It's an in-person interview. Did you ever see this coming on Sports Tank? No, you didn't. But this is the magic. This is the magic. So introduce yourselves.
My name's LT. I'm a rookie safety, and I'm studying sports exercise.
I'm Simon, defensive end.
Your voice isn't that low normally.
Well, I'm Jordan, the vice president, and I study criminology. I'm a linebacker.
So the big thing to come out of Gloucestershire so far is looking back at the last two seasons, 0-5, 0-7, to now being 2-0, and in other organisations being ranked as the third best team in Division 2. What do you think has gone into that? Gloucestershire have now sort of become like a bit more of a force, or a complete change around from what it was a few seasons ago?
I think the last two seasons we've struggled the most with numbers, and the impact of having no numbers. Everyone's playing every single minute, you know what I mean? And as soon as you get injuries, we're really struggling as soon as we get in the third, fourth quarter. But the coaches have recognised that and they're putting loads of work with us. They understand having a small university, we're never going to have loads amount of players coming in. So they're just working really hard with us to be able to make an impact with the small numbers we've had. And I think this season they've really done good work with that, and it's proven on the field. Yeah, and I think from a rookie's perspective as well, the culture, like having come in straight away, this is a team that everyone wants to win, everyone wants to improve. And you've got a lot of people who haven't played the sport before. And then you've also got a lot of people who are in their first, second or third year or so. So having that, you've got players who can coach each other. You've obviously got the coaching staff itself. We seem to be all on the same page, and we've got, all set the same goals.
Yeah, everyone's bought in from what the coaches have said, all the way from the rookies down to the fourth, fifth years. And it's gone well with what the coaches have planned for us in the next coming weeks and the next year.
And with Gloucestershire being so close to places like Bristol or Oxford, do you think that players playing in the senior level, how do you think that's affected the Gloucestershire Gladiators' success going forward?
It's definitely brought in a higher quality of players. Like myself, I played adult ball last year for Somerset Wyverns, and it helped me a lot develop as a player and how to transfer my skills into the game. I think the adult league is really important to get as many people to it, because from the last two seasons, Josh Ricketts, who plays for us, he was the only person last season that had played contact football before. And since then, it was because last season, no one playing football for contact sport. And then people going to adult teams last season, and then coming back to this season, it has helped improve the squad 100%.
Yeah, and you can see the stuff they're bringing, the people who have played adult ball. I think Ricketts especially, they're teaching you things, they're telling you things that the coaches might be saying, they might be thinking, but you can get an even closer personal experience when you're chatting to, your players. So it's good to have that in the facility at the moment.
And then looking down the entirety of uni ball, there's one major statistic that Gloucestershire has, and that Gloucestershire are the only team to not concede a single point so far. If you even look at the higher levels, the Bullets, the Gold, Leeds Beckett, they've all conceded at least 6. And Gloucestershire haven't. Do you think what has gone into creating a defence that can have a statistic like that?
Well, I think obviously the defense we've got to appreciate the coaches for a start, because they've made it so much easier. You've got a lot of first years, a lot of rookies who are playing, and the coaches have made the playbook as simple as they can. And week by week, session by session, they've improved it. They've increased the level, shall we say, and we're slowly getting better and better. But also, every good defense, there's a good offense there. They're making it so we're not always on the field. We've had quite a few games where the defense haven't been on the field as much, and that helps for keeping those low scores. So it's a whole team thing at the moment.
Well, got a message from a coach. Defense so good because special teams put them in such a good position.
I mean, our special teams coach is honestly amazing. I can't imagine a better person doing a better job than what Coach Bunning has been doing. Special teams just incredible.
See, Willem, you are right, and obviously that's one thing that I do want to talk about, is that Gloucestershire have only played 2 games this season and coming off a very, very long break. Last game we played was week 3 against Aberystwyth at home. Do you feel like there's any rust going into the game with the Bath Killer Bees on Saturday?
I think it will be a test of how much work we put in over the cancelled game we had against Plymouth. Like how long ago was that? 8 weeks ago, the cancelled game.
Yeah, around them.
Yeah, and we put in a lot of work, being at training every week, at bar, Christmas and New Year, and we've just implemented all of the stuff we've done throughout the whole year. New stuff to go against Killer Bees, and it should be a great game on a Saturday.
Yeah, and as you said, it's all about how much work we put in over the Christmas break. Even coming back, things like S&C, we've had to work hard on that because we've all have to shift a bit of that Christmas turkey that's still in there. But no, we've kept our heads in the playbook over the break, and it's shown when we've been on the field. We've got a few more practices to go till game day, so we just got to execute our roles then.
And what I found is a lot of the coaches at Gloucestershire have played on the team previously. Do you think that affects how the team operates?
That's huge that the coaches have played, because they're coming in and they've played for this team, they love this team, they want to see the team be successful like it has been before, and you can tell they're really passionate about it. So when we're practicing the stuff, they're hard on us, they're motivating us, and it's just you can show their sheer passion for the team and stuff. So it's really, you're doing it for them as much as you're doing it for yourselves.
Yeah, they put in so much work when they're not here at training, like at home, talking about it with the other coaches about what to do against certain looks and certain reads that the offensive defense give us, and also making makeshift stuff at home so we can do other drills that we wouldn't be able to do at training.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to that culture of they've been in our position before, and they weren't. They've had some wins, they've had some losses, so they know the feeling of both sides of it. And they're giving every experience they've had and telling us how it is, and it's great to learn from that.
Then, this is for more Simon and Jordan, more the returners. Did you ever think that specifically in this year that Gloucestershire would be in the position where it's now week 10, we've got Bath Killer Bees, and realistically the winner of that game is going to be promoted? Did you see Gloucestershire being in that situation when you started the season this year?
I definitely thought we'd be in a good position to challenge for the title of the division leader, but at the end of last season, as you know, we didn't win a game, we were quite low, but we knew this season we were going to change it. None of us wanted to lose at all. That on the returner side, that we don't want to win at all this season, and I think it's going to show this year for the rest of the games we have in the regular season.
I think as well from last season, we lost all of our games, but like I said, with the numbers was an issue and stuff like that, and injuries, we did put a lot of work in, and I feel like we did well with what we had. So going into this season, knowing we're going to bring new people in, and knowing the amount of work we was all going to put in, everyone was so motivated from last year that was coming to this season to do well. I think everyone wants to win it all that was here last year, and even the rookies coming in, they're seeing that passion and stuff, and they want it as well. So if we're not winning everything, that's not good enough for us, I think, at this point.
And then as we dwindle this interview down so we can go and enjoy our social night. I mean, you can, because I'm not part of this team. I'm not part of this team, ladies and gentlemen. No one said that. Your centre. Your centre, why is he like that? Why is he like that?
His name's Chrissy, and I just think Chrissy's just...
Chrissy.
He's one of those people we just put in just for the jokes that really
One of the backups.
Yeah, we just want to let Chrissy have a chance at playing a bit of a uni ball, so we chuck him in.
What is it? What is his problem? What is his problem?
Sarcasm sometimes.
Tell him to stop.
The trim.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
The bad
His outfits on the night out.
beekeeper.
Yeah.
That's the only gift he's got. I think.
Yeah, that's
man.
fair. Cowboy one was good.
Cowboy night was good. But
Backflips.
But with that, I'm sure I'll put it to the chat. I'm sure there'll be some people who might have a question for Gloucestershire. I'll put it in. See if anyone's got any questions for a couple of guys from the Gloucestershire Gladiators. We'll see. I do think that Bath is going to be the toughest game of the season for the Gladiators. Did we enjoy? Did you enjoy watching the film of Bath versus Worcester? Huh?
No,
You don't.
I don't know. What's that? What's film?
I don't think they've seen that film. Who's it by? Is it Steven Spielberg? But yeah, just what are your thoughts going into Bath? How do you think it's going to go?
We got to respect them. They're known, certainly in the division they're in at the moment. They're known for being a prestigious sort of. They're a good team, and we know they're good players. And as you said, this is going to be a tough game. So right now we're just going to go week by week, and Bath is the goal at the moment. If we win that, it's then on to the game after that and the game after that. But they're a good team. We got to show them the respect they deserve. The lights flickering.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to bring our best, and hopefully it'll be a good game.
Yeah. Anyone got anything else?
No, 100%. Yeah.
Well, in that case, I'll let you go off, and I'll let you enjoy it, and I'm going to get into the Week 10 previews. Huh? Huh? No. No, I don't know you people. Go away.
Cheers for having us, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Get off my stream now. Do it quietly. Why are your shorts so small? Oh, unbelievable. And James LaFleming, I know I've only got 18 views. That's because this is on a Wednesday and this show's normally on a Monday. And I've got more co-hosts. Unbelievable. So in Week 10 this week, Nottingham Gold versus Leeds Beckett, the UEA Pirates versus the UW Bullets, the Newcastle Raiders versus the Durham Saints, the MMU Eagles versus the Manchester Tyrants, Warwick Wolves versus Staffordshire, Hertfordshire Hurricanes versus the Portsmouth Destroyers. They meet for the first time. Very well could decide the Div 1 Southern, Sheffield Hallam versus the LJMU Fury, Exeter versus Bournemouth 2, Imperial versus Kent, Glasgow versus Northumbria, Royal Holloway versus Oxford, Essex versus Brunel, Southampton versus Bristol, NTU versus Coventry, Edinburgh versus Hull. Those are all Div 1. Div 2, Edge Hill versus Liverpool. Very, very big game. Lincoln versus Cambridge, Aberystwyth versus Plymouth, UEL versus Greenwich, Nottingham Green versus Leicester, Bath Spa versus the Bullets 2s, Reading versus Solent. Reading win that, they get promoted. Brighton versus Surrey, Canterbury versus KCL, Bangor versus York St John, and of course the Bath Killer Bees versus the Gloucestershire Gladiators. I'm just going to do a quick one. It's going to be a nice quick episode. I might have to kick Dylan and Connor off full time. That's not true. I said I was going to apologise to him. I do apologise. Yeah, just going to apologise. Because, if I just let them do their thing, it would have been fine. It would have been fine, but I kept swearing down the mic. That's what you don't do. You don't swear down the mic. So Nottingham Gold versus Leeds Beckett. I'm going for the gold because it's at home. The Bullets versus the Pirates. Got to go for the Bullets. The Raiders versus the Saints. The Raiders beat the Saints when it was away at the Saints for the Raiders. It's now home for Newcastle. It's going to be on the Raiders. The Tyrants versus the Eagles. Got to go with the Tyrants. The Wolves versus Staffordshire. Wolves. Hertfordshire versus Portsmouth. This is classic due to last year. I'm going to go with Hertfordshire. Portsmouth knows why. Hallam versus LJMU Fury. Now, this is the interesting one. I'm going to go for LJMU with the upset. Exeter versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth. Imperial versus Kent. I'm going to go for Kent. Glasgow versus Northumbria. Glasgow. Royal Holloway versus Oxford. Royal Holloway. Essex versus Brunel. Brunel are going to get their win back there, I feel. Southampton versus Bristol. Going to go with Bristol. NTU Coventry. NTU. Edinburgh versus Hull. That's a tough game. But I'm going to say that Hull do not pick up their first win over a Scottish team this year. I'm going to go with Edinburgh. Edge Hill. UCLan versus Liverpool. It's Liverpool's year, ladies and gentlemen. It's Liverpool. Lincoln versus Cambridge. I'm going to go with Lincoln. Aberystwyth, Plymouth. I'm going to throw out a pick here. Might be a bit salty, especially because it's in a division where I sort of reside. I'm going to go with Aberystwyth. UEL versus Greenwich. Greenwich. Green versus Leicester. I'm going to go with Leicester. The Bath Spa versus the Bullets 2s. I'm going to go with the Bullets 2s. Reading versus Solent. I'm going with Reading. Brighton versus Surrey. I'm going with Brighton. Canterbury versus KCL. KCL do a complete sweep of their division. They beat Canterbury and ride off into the playoffs as the number 1 seed in the south. Bangor versus York St John. I'm going to go with Bangor, and I'm not going to comment on the Bath Killer Bees versus the Gloucestershire Gladiators for reasons everyone knows. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a nice quick one. I just want to get Gloucestershire's people's voices heard, because I don't think Monday really allowed them to do that because of my connectivity issues. Rundown will be back on Monday with the normal format, and hopefully I will have better Wi-Fi much like I have today. Should be the same. I'm not going to be doing it from home anymore. I'm going to be doing it from somewhere else so we can have things like this. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you are playing this week, good luck. Have good luck. Be in good health. God bless everyone. And if you're not playing, enjoy your week off and catch us on Monday for the rundown where Connor will be back, Dylan will be back, and my Wi-Fi issues won't completely ruin everything. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you on Monday.